WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight at 10. A community in shock and mourning comes together to remember 3 shooting victims. Our Cash Matlock attended the vigil in Artesia tonight. He has more on how family, friends, and neighbors are coping with the tragedy. Cash.
Well, that's right, Scott. Family members, friends, and residents of Artesia all came together tonight to honor the lives of Demario Snell, Mauricio LaMarcus Nance, and Tyshawn Bernard Fields. Now, those in attendance say the community has suffered a huge loss, and they say the only way to move forward is through faith.
Prayer will win. No matter what, prayer will win every time. And we're going to keep on encouraging each other.
It was an emotional night at the Pavilion in Artesia as those who knew the 3 shooting victims struggled to grasp what happened Tuesday.
It really shocked our community. It took us by storm. And we're a very small community, but we're a very loving community. And it really took an impact on our community. And but we will bounce back through the help of the good Lord. We will bounce back.
Right now we're traumatized, as best to describe it. And you know, we just feel like the community has been rattled, but we're going to bounce back.
Community members say Artesia will never be the same.
It impacted our future because these were very young men who had a very bright future and who people could look up to, and it really did hurt our community.
We lost 3 young men who mean the world to us. These are guys whose faces would light up the entire community when they walk in the room. So we're going to start there and be there for these families. Vigil
coordinator Terica Randall says the only way to move forward is through faith.
The only way we can start to build is here tonight. This is a candlelight prayer vigil. Like I said, our community is surrounded in faith. You know, we believe in God. We love on each other. We've all went to the same churches our whole entire lives. So we're starting with that.
And at the end of the day, those who knew the victims say they just want justice for the 3 men.
You know, we feel like justice will be served. That's what we're looking for. We want justice to be served, and we're going to rely on God to get us through this.
We're for justice. Our mayor does a good job of really enforcing justice here in our community, and justice is what we're about here.
The community is asking everyone to please continue to pray for the families affected.
Our thoughts are definitely with that community. Switching gears now, it's time to toss things over to meteorologist Jacob Dickey with a first look at our forecast. Jacob, some changes on the way.
There sure are, Scott, and we were out at Eastside Elementary letting them know all about the weather this morning, giving them a little taste of what was to come, and some of them were hoping we could get some snow in here. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case, but lots of bright, smiling faces with the kindergarten class out of West Point. Thanks for having us as part of our WCBI Weather School. As far as what's out there right now, we've got a big batch of rain and some embedded thunderstorms moving into our area now. More storms forming down towards Louisiana and Arkansas. As this first batch pushes on through over the next couple of hours, many of us will likely hear some rumbling of thunder, get some heavy rain in some spots, but overall, the storms tonight are looking rather tame. It's more the storms as we get into early on Saturday morning. These right here that we'll have to watch more so. Best time frame looks to be after 4 a.m. for strong storms. Coming up, we'll time out the storms as they move through our area, talk about the cold air that's afterwards, and take a look at the week ahead. Scott?
Thanks very much, Jacob. Well, a community college puts its emergency preparedness plan to the test. Riley Martin tells us how the exercise unfolded and what police and the school's administrators hope to learn from the scenario.
As members of the Tupelo Police SWAT team arrive at the ICC Belden Center, they know only the information relayed in a 911 call.
It was a hostage barricaded situation, then it resulted into an active shooter, and then also an improvised device was included as well.
The active shooter drill was announced through ICC Alert, a mass notification system the college uses to inform students and employees of emergencies or other potentially dangerous situations.
A police training drill is set to begin at ICC Belden this morning and will conclude by 11:30 a.m.
SWAT team members enter the conference center conducting a sweep of the building. That portion was off limits to media because of security concerns and the need to keep certain strategies and tactics private. Faculty and staff took part in the exercise and were escorted to a safe room as law officers cleared hallways and classrooms.
Have we let anybody know that we're missing?
Probably need to tell.
Major Anthony Hill says the layout of the conference center presented many difficulties with a large numbers of doors and rooms. He also knows a real-life situation is likely to have an armed citizen who is trying to help police.
We have to remain professional and basically abide by people's rights and understand people's rights.
There are a lot of challenges for police, and that's why a debriefing is held after the mock drill to see what went right and what can be improved upon.
We know that we can get better every day, and so we're going to practice these things periodically and find a way to improve. I think the other part of it is we know that people send us their loved ones to educate, and we want to make sure that we provide as safe environment as we can to do that, and the only way to really do that is to go through these experiences and grow from them.
Police and college officials encourage people to report any suspicious activity or threat. They say that can often prevent a tragedy. Allie Martin, WCBI News.
ICC updates its emergency operations plan on a regular basis. I know at 10, Mississippi doesn't have enough teachers to fill all the vacancies. Competitive pay in surrounding states only complicates the problem. It's one reason you heard Governor Phil Bryant ask lawmakers to give teachers a raise this year. Courtney Ann Jackson visits a school district where they're struggling to fill positions.
The teacher shortage is taking on different forms here in Holmes County. You see, they have teachers in the classroom right now, but half of their teaching workforce is either uncertified or only has a one-year license, meaning they still need to pass some of their testing to be fully certified.
Will you be my teacher? It's a more personal plea that's part of the teacher recruitment campaign in Holmes County.
And we're going to go out and get those teachers.
In order for us to move beyond the F rating, we need teachers, and we need qualified teachers. We cannot sit by and just watch things occur the way they used to occur.
Holmes is an example of challenges districts across the state are facing. The pay is low compared to surrounding states, and there aren't as many college students choosing careers in education.
2,000 vacancies are expected. And the entire state of Mississippi only has 515 educators who will be graduating from departments of education.
That's the first hurdle for a rural school district, finding teachers willing to put down roots off the beaten path. That's why they're also exploring plans to bring the teachers they do have in the classrooms up to speed and get them certified.
And this is how we're going to do that. We're asking the state to take a look at certifying school districts to create its own alternative certification programs. We are engaged in conversation with Teach for America. They will take them through a boot camp summer program to develop those teachers and work to ensure that they take and pass the praxis exam.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Well, over the next 24 hours here at home, we are looking at strong storms, breezy winds, bitter cold air, and an isolated wintry mix fitting all four seasons into the next 24 hours. Coming up after the break, we'll time out the weather as it moves on through and let you know how you'll be impacted. Stay with us.
First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Jacob Dickey.
Right now out there, temperatures are in the 50s across our area, low to mid 50s, and that's about where we are going to call our low temperatures right now. 52 in Columbus, 54 in Starkville, Calhoun City at 53. It's 55 in Winona. Do have a few showers and storms rolling on through. No severe weather right now, and I don't expect too much out of these, rather than some rain, thunder, and lightning as these storms move off to the north and to the east. Then some spots here seeing some rumbles of thunder from Water Valley towards Bruce, Pittsboro, Calhoun City, maybe even up towards Pontotoc. Those storms will continue off to the north and to the east throughout the next couple of hours. As we go through the night, temperatures are warming. We'll be in the 60s by the time morning rolls around, with a good chance for showers and thunderstorms area-wide. Southeast winds will be 10 to 25 miles an hour across the area. Our high on Saturday will be 64 in Columbus, 63 in Starkville, 60 in Winona, some low 60s also in West Alabama. It'll be 64 for our high in Vernon, 65 in Reform, 63 in Sologent, and then up in North Mississippi, Tupelo, 61. I've got 62 in Aberdeen, 60 in Oxford, and in Water Valley. Now, the thing about the high temperatures is actually those highs are happening in the morning hours here. We're in the 60s up until lunchtime. cold front pushes the storms through and brings in cold air. By the end of the day on Saturday, we are looking at the 30s with the wind chill values down into the 20s across our area. Here's the reason for the big change in weather here. It's this big low pressure sliding our way over the next couple of hours here. By tomorrow morning, we'll be squarely in the warm sector of things. That'll give us showers and thunderstorms. That low pressure then passes through cold front as well. On the backside, then maybe we can get a little moisture in place and some cold air to allow for a little wintry mix in some spots. Let's start with the severe threat and talk about it. A slight risk for severe weather exists for a good chunk of our area, including the Golden Triangle, West Alabama, and for our friends along the US 82 corridor and points south. Marginal risk exists for everywhere else. It's a very standard severe weather day here. The main threat looks to be damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour. Cannot rule out an isolated tornado as we go through the morning hours. And again, that timing is going to be on Saturday morning from 5 to 12. Maybe deal with a little bit of hail as well as some flash flooding in spots. As far as the rain here, Saturday, that rain pushes on through that first batch. It's the second batch I'm a little more concerned about. After 5 a.m., the chance for some strong to severe storms really picks up through the morning hours on Saturday. The good news is things clear out by lunchtime. I think we're done with this rather early on Saturday. Then our attention turns to that cold air, and we'll see if that cold air can mix in with a little bit of moisture and sneak just a little bit of wintry mix in the area. Overall, impacts will be none, and the amount of accumulation, we're not expecting anything from that. Maybe just see a few flakes from the sky. What is a given? Wind advisory for the northern half of our area. A lot of cold air coming in by Saturday night. Those northwest winds are sliding on in. Temperatures will be dropping like a rock and taking a real tumble as we go forward. Very active next couple of days. Again, scattered storms tonight. Storms are expected in the morning. Some will be severe. Main window 5 a.m. to noon. After that, things turn cold. We'll watch for a little wintry mix with no impact Saturday night. Cold and breezy Sunday. Sunshine on Monday. More expected Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Finding a match for Mason. We share the story of a West Point toddler on the bone marrow registry when we come back.
WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
One-year-old has spent his young life in and out of hospital visits. After his mom noticed he wasn't gaining weight, doctors discovered the 17-month-old had a rare type of blood cancer. Mason Murphy was diagnosed with MDS. He's the son of Alicia Cherry and MSU football safety Marcus Murphy. Little Mason now needs to find a bone marrow donor match that could ultimately save his life. Since Mason Murphy was born, life has been far from easy.
He wasn't meeting his developmental milestones, and he was only 11 pounds for a 7-month-old.
His mom and dad's hearts shattered when they learned Mason had MDS.
I was devastated. I couldn't think,
His dad, Marcus Murphy, tough on the football field, now tackled with his son's terrifying diagnosis.
I cried. I mean, I'm a big baby, but, this is my child. I'm soft-hearted for him. I just couldn't process it all the way. Like now, I still just can't really process it because it seems like it's unreal.
In hopes of finding a cure, Mason needs a bone marrow transplant. He's on the National Bone Marrow Registry, be the match. But here's where it gets tricky. There are 19 million people registered to donate, but a bone marrow transplant is far more complex.
With blood, there's, a limited few number of blood types. With tissue types, there are hundreds of thousands of different tissue types.
Rachel Harris, community engagement rep with Be the Match, says people of all ethnicities are encouraged to register to donate. In Mason's case, as an African American, statistics show he has a 22% chance of finding a donor on the registry.
That's what we're searching for, is someone who closely matches the patient's DNA type or their tissue type. So all of that's inherited. So you are going to match someone who shares your same ethnic background.
Mason makes regular trips to St. Jude to ensure he doesn't develop leukemia. He has a feeding tube to get the nutrients he needs.
Right now, Mason is doing perfectly fine. He's had a blood transfusion, so that kind of helped him.
Surrounded by the love of their family and relying on faith and hope from a possible stranger, they believe Mason will overcome this disease.
Without God, I don't know where any of us would be.
It's been a rough process, but it's going to eventually get better.
His mom and dad have registered and are waiting to find out if they could possibly be a match. Mason also did have one seizure, and he's on medication after doctors found a cyst on his brain. Doctors say that now makes him more prone to having seizures. To learn more on how to register and Mason's story, visit WCBI.com. Well, Friday wouldn't be the same without rivalry basketball. High school hoops from Columbus and Noxapater coming up next in sports.
With Tom Emmel.
Victory Friday and sole possession of first place in the SEC for Hail State Hoops was met with bad news and a big loss to the starting five. Mississippi State confirming the worst. Sophomore forward Chloe Bibby will miss the rest of the season with the knee injury she suffered against South Carolina. The Bulldogs will have to replace its biggest perimeter threat, Bibby leading the team in three-point field goals, as well as the team's fourth leading scorer. Mississippi State back in action again next Thursday at Florida. Mississippi State names James Armstrong as the newest head coach of the soccer program. Armstrong spent the past 6 years at Auburn as an assistant and associate head coach, a part of the Tigers staff that reached the NCAA tournament in 5 straight seasons, including an Elite Eight run in 2016. Armstrong is the 6th head coach in MSU soccer history. Not the only hiring done this week, Aberdeen High School has found the man to lead the football program. West Point assistant coach Alex Williams was approved Thursday. Melissa Metter of the Monroe Journal was the first to report. Williams spent 4 seasons in West Point as the running backs coach, a rushing attack that averaged more than 270 yards per game. The Aberdeen native looks to bring state championship experience to his hometown. 6A rivalry hoops, Tupelo taking on Columbus, starting with the ladies. Good first quarter for the Lady Wave. Chamaya Caruthers with the steal, going coast to coast. She battled through the contact, pretty finish for 2. Tupelo up 6 after the first quarter, but Columbus turns it on in the second. Hannah White with the steal. Smooth killer in the lane. Look at that beautiful left-hand finish. Lady Falcons pressure causing fits for Tupelo. White with another steal in transition. Nice outlet pass to DJ Jackson. Pretty finish, and DJ loves it. Columbus leading by 5 at the break. Tupelo trying to keep it close, though. Final seconds in the third. Jalencia Colheim barrels through the lanes with the floater for 2. The clock under 10 ticks to go. Who else but White with the ball in her hands? Right in the defender's face for the triple at the horn. Columbus cruises to a W, 65-49. Let's run it back with the boys. Columbus taking on Josh Mitchell in the Golden Wave. Tupelo with the advantage early. Keandre Hampton with the rip takes it all the way to the hoop for the deuce. Nice finger roll finish. Wave balling early on. Braxton Bishop dropping dimes right to Josh Mitchell inside. Bullies his way through the contact for the and one bucket. This one would be called a foul, though, but the block was too good. Hampton absolutely rejected by Jerome Sherrod of Columbus. Columbus trying to feel their way back into this one, but it'd be Bishop to Hampton. More dimes for Bishop. 3 ball is money. The star of the night, though, Tupelo's Josh Mitchell. 12 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 blocks like that one. The man it was a block party all to himself. Golden Wave get the win, 56-44. The Cross Creek rivalry hoops version. Nanawaya taking on Noxapater. Ladies first. Noxapater's Morgan Duran to Morgan Hunter. Morgan and Morgan for the people for 2. Nanawaya answers. Galen Nance to TJ Redhouse. Nice pass. Nice finish off the window for 2. Back and forth ball game here. Knox Pater, Duran finds Lindsey Mills inside. That's the way you reach up and corral that pass for the bucket. And Tina Thompson to Bria Tubby on the wing. Left hand, nothing but nylon. Nanawaya wins 41-24. Let's go to the boys. Nanawaya, Noxapater, rivalry hoops. Let's get it popping. Carter passes Jaheim Bingham. Hits the deep 2 off the glass. Bank open late on a Friday night in Noxapater. There comes more. Carter on the isolation. Drives, score, Noxapater up by 4. Nanawaya's time to answer. Trey McMullen drives and kicks to Hagen. How far for the triple? That's a nice triple. He throws up the 3 fingers to make sure you know it. Then Ethan Daly drives from the top of the key, scores the layup. Nanawaya sweeps Noxapater 50-34. That's it for sports. We'll have the last of your forecast coming up next.
A few watch showers and a few thunderstorms move in our general direction through the area. These storms, not expecting too much out of them, more bark than bite. The better threat's going to be 4 strong to severe storms from about 6 a.m. until noon, or maybe 5 a.m. until noon on Saturday morning. After that, then cold air comes on in. Maybe we sneak a little wintry mix, Scott. Are we going to see you out trying to catch some flakes, maybe?
No. I'm not going outside.
Yeah, not many people will. It's going to be blustery cold. Sunday just the same.
All right, thanks, Jacob. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.